Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Tune in now on hot7025fm.com.
One, two, 1, 1, 2. Yes, you know what it is, baby. You already know. I used to love that part of the song. On 112, Papa coming over to give you that raw. Favorite position is from the back door. And you know the deal, don't ask no questions. Ha ha. You already know what it is, baby. It's hump day. It's hump day. That means you time to holla at the homie. And I am the homie 360 the poet, right here live and direct to you from the city of sin, Las Vegas, Nevada, but at the home of hot7025fm.com. That's right, the baddest station in the land. This is where you come to get all your information, man, because we got it all. We got all types of shows that go on right here live on Hot 7025. You know what it is, and this is the Holla at the Homie segment, so that means it's time for you to holla at me. And if y'all don't know what that is, this is the number one. When I say number one, I mean the number one advice column online or live and direct. And the way you get at me is simply email me at hollaatthehomie@gmail.com, spelled just like you see at the bottom of the screen right there. Yep, that's right there, HOLLAATTHAHOMIE@gmail.com. Send me a letter. Send me something. What's up with you, Denver Brigham? We're always good to see you, baby. Hometown 217, stand up. Always checking in with me. I appreciate all my folks, my family, my people, everybody out there that tunes in and taps in each and every week right here with the homie 360 the poet. But it's hump day in Sin City, like you say, so that can mean a lot. I mean, you can get over the hump, or somebody can just be humping around right now. But this is what we do right here. Again, you send me a letter, or you can call us in, 702-551-5261 at any given time. And I'll pick up the phone. I'll holler at you if you got something to say about the particular subject. What's going on, Nicholas Teal? Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. Thank you, bro. I appreciate the council last week was on point. And I hope each and every week somebody gets something out of what we say here on Hot 7025, whether it be my show or whether it be the Shady Ass Tea or whether it's Let's Talk About Love, any of the shows we got going on here, but especially if you tuned in with me, I'm really, really, really appreciating you for everybody that says something, that says what's up or said they appreciate it, even if you throw me a middle finger. Regardless, I had you for a few seconds to where you tuned in and tapped in with the homie, and we right back like a pot of fresh cooked crack. We bounce back, y'all. But we got another good one this week. I always got to say what's up to my sponsors. My shirt sponsor of the week is the Classic Shop. The Classic Shop is one of my continual sponsors. What they are is a black woman-owned streetwear brand with original designs dedicated to the culture. Classic's mission is to honor and preserve the culture one tee at a time by encouraging conversations or research to learn more about design inspirations and demand respect and value for African American societal contributions too often diminished as just another trend. That's right. We don't want no just another trend. So whether it be Classic Shop, whether it be Shop Blinged Out, whether it be Palm Tree Designs by Anna, who else and hit me up? Whether it be It's Cool to Be Smart, whatever the sponsorship that somebody has hit me up with, I always want to make sure I appreciate you and thank you for shooting me a shirt, a hat. Well, you know, my hat this week deal with the fastest team in the country right now, the fastest team in the NFL, my Miami Dolphins. And if y'all don't think I'm a bandwagoner, anybody who know me, know I've been a Fins fan for quite some time, since the 80s. Because I had a beef with some of my cousins because I chose them over the Bears, and then the Bears went to the Super Bowl the next year. What up, Al Rich, Superman of the Car Biz? Black Barbie, what's going on, P? How you doing? Good to see all my people checking in. We got a good one this week. We talking about what you doing. You know, you got friends, whether it be long-time friends or associates or sometimes even family, that only hit you up and holler at you and reach out to you when they need something, when they need a favor. We got a writer that sent in a wonderful, heartfelt letter that I'm pretty sure a lot of us can relate to. So as always, I always like to let you know that I am not, I have not, and I will not probably ever be a clinical psychiatrist, psychologist, and or counselor. What I would consider myself is somewhat of a life coach, because through the life I've been living and vicariously through others who I've sponged up, I'm able to coach others through their life because I don't have a problem speaking up. Anybody know if I get a microphone in front of me, I'm going to do my dance. So I appreciate y'all that tuned in to find out what's going on this week. Filipino 15, what's happening, baby? But yeah, so that's how we do it out here. And again, I just want to make sure to put that disclaimer out there. And I'm never one to tell you what to do, but I do give you options of what, based off the letter you write or the information you give me, what can be done. Okay, so I don't want nobody to take my word as gospel. I may sound like I'm in the pulpit sometimes, and I do get to preaching from time to time, but please do not take my word as gospel. But at least if you tuned in, you interested to hear what I got to say. Or if you've written in, no, man, that water here so good. Oh, man, change the whole trajectory how you talk, man. Give you some throat clearance. But if you tuned in, then, or if you've written in, then I'm thankful that you want to hear what I got to say. So let's get into the letter today. It says, "Dear homie, I hope this letter finds you well. I've been facing a bit of a dilemma lately, and I thought your wisdom and advice might help shed some light on the situation. It's about a group of long-term close friends that I've had for many years, and I'm not quite sure how to handle their behavior. Over the years, I've noticed a pattern in our friendship. It seems that they only reach out to me when they need assistance or a favor. Whether it's help moving, borrowing money, or needing someone to talk to when they're going through a tough time, I'm always there for them. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm more than happy to help my friends when they need me, but however, it's disheartening to feel like our relationship is one-sided. I've tried to express my feelings to them in a subtle way, but it doesn't seem to have made much of a difference. They might change their behavior temporarily, but soon enough, we're back to the same situation. I value their friendship and the memories we've created together, but I can't help but feel used. So, homie, I'm torn between continuing to be with them and be their friend because that's what we are. We are friends. And distancing myself because of it feels like they're taking advantage of my kindness. So you're torn between distancing yourself and still being their friends. Okay. How can I address this issue without damaging our friendship? I don't want to lose them as friends, but I also want to feel like our friendship is based upon mutual respect and not just their convenience. Thank you for your guidance in this matter. Sincerely, Feeling Used Friend. All right, Feeling Used Friend. And put that letter right there so I can keep referencing that in case I need to go back to, that's right, baby, side 95. We're almost at 30 years. Damn. But so let me keep that letter right there so I can keep referencing that. So first and foremost, Thank you, feeling used friends, for sharing your dilemma with us. Let me say that first. This situation, like many of us, we found ourselves, and all of us have found ourselves in a situation like this before at some point or another, right? And it's never easy to address it because it's such a sensitive subject, because the people involved have such a connection with you, right? Let me see. You say, are you friends from what you were, or are you friends from what you are today? Ask yourself. I'm gonna dive. Ooh, Denver, you be hitting the nail on the head, dog. I'm telling you. Denver Brigham says, are you friends from what you were or what you are today? Ask yourself. That is a question you gotta ask. So, and that's one of the things that because people are afraid of losing friends, right? Because, depending on what age bracket you're in, you might have lost a bunch of friends based off different situations, life, circumstances or what have you, based on how you got your friends in the first place or the growth in which you've taken part in as yourself. Exactly. You answer that, you have the answer. But to be afraid, fear, is false evidence that appears real. Meaning like it's just something that's before you that may seem like it's real in the moment, but in actuality is just there to try to scare you. Scare tactic, right? So but today we're going to discuss like different strategies on like trying to manage these kinds of friendships. But the main thing you have to worry about is maintaining your own well-being. Don't get so caught up in making sure your friends are good that you lose you. You got to make sure that you don't disconnect with who you are, because if that's the case, then you're really not being a friend for them. You're not going to be the friend they need or the friend that anybody else needs, because you're not you. When you forget about yourself, so like the first thing I want to talk about is that self-internal acknowledgement, right? You got to acknowledge within yourself, because it's essential. It's essential to recognize like your feelings and your boundaries, right? But your emotions, you got to know that they valid. And if you don't feel and act and internalize that acknowledgement, your feelings won't be valid to you. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to know that your feelings and your emotions are valid. Acknowledge your feelings first, because that's the first step to addressing them constructively. You have to acknowledge to yourself, like, okay, wait a minute. How am I involved in this? If you're going to get yourself out of it, one way to try to see how to get out of it is to figure out how you got into it, right? Like you can't untie a knot from the ends of the knot. You got to get down in the middle, right? So you have to first see, what is your part in this? What allowances are you giving to your friends? And one of those allowances can come about by you not acknowledging that your feelings and your emotions are valid towards how you feel about the situation. Right? So like, if not, you're going to start to feel used, taken advantage of, or taken for granted whenever, like you're going to feel like, that's not a great place to feel. Anytime you feel like you're being used, like my partner James Lewis Pitts Jr. said one time, he said, everybody gets used. He said, just don't misuse me. Ooh, that was a bar he dropped on me on that one. I don't know where he got it from. If it's his own original, I really appreciate it even more, because he said, everybody got to understand and acknowledge that we all get used in some way for somebody else's benefit, but just don't misuse me. What up, Mike Denardi, real estate? What's going on with you, big baby? But yeah, so that's the thing you got to understand. Like when you don't put your feelings on a pedestal and understand that they have validity, then you allow someone to misuse you, because you're not standing up for you, because you're allowing your own feelings to be put to the side behind someone else's. And you're the one that's feeling bad about it. That doesn't make sense, right? So that's one way you can kind of take for it. One of the first steps is that self-internal acknowledgement that your feelings are valid and that they matter. All right. Like the second step would be, consider having a relationship that is, or a friendship or a conversation that is both open and honest. Let me see. What's that say right there? Ray's World says, if you treated a doormat from the begin, if you were treated as a doormat from the beginning, then just how the story is going to end. This is true. This is true. If you've allowed these things to occur, and they just starting to not feel so good to you, then you have to find a way to pivot. Like, again, if you've always been that, metaphorical doormat, then where do you expect, that's where the people met you at. They met you at that spot. What up, Roro? They met you at that spot. If you started off, helping people out at all times and not considering your own self in any of the situations, now that you're growing, to them it may feel like you switching up on them. But you have to have that, again, this is where the second part comes in. Consider having an open and honest conversation with your friends. I say it every single week. Communication is the key to any happy relationship, friendlationship, whatever kind of ship is sailing. Communication is the number one key, meaning you not only have to say what you say and be open with what you say, but you have to be open to receiving what the other side has to say. You listen with the intent of absorption, not with the intent to respond. And you have to express to them that you're hoping that they're doing the same thing, that they're listening in business as well, any type of business relationships. You have hope that they're listening with the intent to absorb what it is that you delivering. You feeding them, you grub hubbing them, but they're not there to receive it. So now that's a bad delivery. It's a moot point. What's that difference? Say eliminate emotions. People will utilize feelings to take advantage and devour you. Deal in cognitive propulsion, not dissonance. And I get, and that's the thing, like, that's a trained skill. Everybody don't even know what dissonance or cognitive propulsion is. I'm aware, or have an idea, but a lot of people have to train themselves to be able to step outside of the emotional, because, man, woman, like, we came from the womb, man. So we're all based on emotions somewhere. So somewhere at the core of it all, especially when it's friendships and relationships, because the core of it is they've got a piece of your heart. Everybody says it, they got a piece of your heart. What up, Dan Noodle? They say they got a piece of your heart, right? So it's hard to eliminate completely the emotional side of things when dealing with friends and those who you love and care about, right? But but again, when you go back to having that open communication, that real open and honest conversation with them, then that's when they will get an understanding, hey Pam, of what your type of friendship you're looking for is. You got to let them know let them be aware. They may not even be aware of how their actions are affecting you. If you don't speak on it, like, they say a closed mouth don't get fed, or the baby that don't cry don't get no nipple, or whatever the old proverb is you go by, or your grandparents or somebody taught you. You got to say something about something to get something, right? So they may not even be aware of how their moves are affecting you in that negative way. But, you want to approach them non-confrontationally. Because anytime you go, it's a big thing. People used to, like, my homeboy Rod, DJ Count, big up to Rod. Everybody know me. I used to have a really, really short fuse, right? I used to. Now it's extended. It's long now. I just breathe, and I ain't got time because I don't do all that madness. I'm gonna just shoot you. But Rod told me one day at work, I was about to go in on a manager at work, and he knew it. He saw I was about to lose my job that day, and he told me. He just walked up to me. I'm at the computer, and he walked up to me and he said, "Hey, you fight fire better with water." And he walked away. Because at that moment, he let me know that, fighting fire with more fire is just going to lead to a bigger blaze. But you can put this fire out with a little bit of water. And he walked away from me. And since that day, I still have my moments. Don't get me wrong. Hey, I'm not going to act like I'm not going to be brand new and act like I still don't flash when, the people don't get the picture till the flash is on type shit, right? But the thing about it is that I have less of those moments now. I grab the water hose more often than not. What's Denver say? Stop basing friendships off of the past. Deal with real time. Not hashtag now. Yes. Like I said, we just talked about that was either last week or the week before about the validity of doing friendship evaluations. You got to express your love for your friends and your desire. When you have this conversation, this non-confrontational conversation, let me stay on track. What's up, Tori? What's going on? What's going on, Princess Bona? But, when you have these real conversations with your friends, right? These open conversations and these non-confrontational conversations, you got to let them know. You got to express your love for them, for one. And then you got to let them know your desire to continue to being friends. But you also have to make sure that you make it clear that you need the relationship, that you need, not that you want it, that you need the relationship to be more balanced. In order for you to continue to invest into the friendship, like, what's going on? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? So like you need the relationship to be balanced in order for you to continue to feed into it. You have to be able, again, I'm always big on the fact that, in order for me to continue to pour out, my cup got to get filled up in the areas in which I'm pouring out. But it's got to come from somewhere. It doesn't always come from self. So you got this communication line that you have with your partners, with your friends, your crew. You should be able to have that if y'all really friends. Open and honest about what you need and that you desire to continue to be friends with them, right? So, but that leads me to my next point. It's important to set boundaries, because if they can't, you were just talking about this, Irene Nichols. That's what I'm talking about. And it's good that these conversations are being had all over, because friendship is essential to the soul, right? I learned that a long time ago, from some friends of mine. And you got to understand, like, these are things that people need. And you're right. Everybody isn't open to being open, Princess Bona. You're right. And that's the thing. Like, if you're open to wanting to have the desire to have a more balanced relationship, you got to allow that openness to be open to receive. Excuse me. Because if you open to talk, everybody want to tell their side of the story. And that's it. We all need our friends as well as ourselves to be open to being wrong and to growing. That's a good point, Irene Nichols. And then Denver Brigham says, he said, if you're friends from what you were, you're not friends anymore. It's just that simple. And exactly, you have to be open to being wrong. What's up, Stace? You got to be open to being wrong, because that's what's going to allow your friendship to grow. Grass don't grow without putting fertilizer on it, right? You got to get some shit in the situation in order for it to grow, and be understanding that shit is there for a reason. Yeah, it stank. You go through the stank. That fertilizer is there to make you grow. I got a poem, and one of them, it says, I've been through my growing pains. I've learned not to complain, to pray for growth, and then it rains. You see what I'm saying? I can't pray for growth, and then when it's raining on me, I'm mad. You can't do that. That doesn't make sense. What's going on, neighbor Nicole? You can't pray for growth and be mad when it's raining on you. How else you gonna grow? So that's what you got to be open to have these conversations with your friends. But then you got to set these boundaries. Let them know what you're comfortable with and what makes you feel discomfort. Because once you recognize it yourself, then it shouldn't be as hard to express it to those who actually give a damn about you. Exactly. You got to embrace the storm, Denver. You have to embrace your storms. Find the kind of help and then let people know what kind of help you're willing to give and under what circumstances. That's where your boundaries come in. Not saying that just, you may be tired of helping your friends from time to time, but if they're your friends, you put there to help them. You put there to help each other. That's a family thing. I get it. And that's the thing. Princess Bona, you say you just did this and a friend got upset. And the thing about it is, if you're open enough to talk to them, be open enough to understand that they may not receive it the way that you've given it. You may be delivering the message one way, but the way that their receptors are taking it in, it may not filter the same way. So if you're still open, again, like I said, bounce back to my last point, talking about like, let them know that you want to continue to be friends, but you just need the balance. We in Libra season, right? We in Libra season officially. So that's the balance. We need that balance. You need that balance out of your friendships. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you need those things to be able to make sure that nobody's feeling less than in relationships. Yeah, we know we all may have certain power in certain positions. Yeah, somebody may have the most money. Yeah, somebody may have the most connections. You say you're a Libra. See, exactly. And you were searching for that balance from your own, spirit. You were searching from your own spirit. Oh, I know Tortober is a Libra in this thing. But that's the thing. You have to be willing to balance it all out. But you have to communicate to them what your balance is. Like, you can't just put some gold on the scale and expect them to match it without knowing if you got it covered up. They may need to know this. If you got 12 gold bars, they may need to know what coins match that. To thine own self be true. Leave it at that. And that you speak. To thine own self be true. You have to thine own self be true. Because if not, then to everybody else, you're lying as well. Like, one of my most hated phrases, like I can't stand it, is when somebody say, that's real talk. So that means you was faking the rest of the time? You only talking to me real now? No, I need this conversation to be open and honest. Now, the tricky part of it is you got to learn to say no. Wrapped up in all of that, you have to find a way to say no. Like, nope, nah, I can't do it. Not going to happen today. But when necessary, it can be tough, especially when you deal with somebody that you care about, right? You never want to tell the people that you care about no. What's going on, Janaire? You never want to tell the people that that you care about no, because you care. And you never want to hear that to come to you, right? But sometimes saying no is the best thing you can do for the person, because it's going to teach them a way to figure it out. But it's also could be the best thing you can do for the relationship, because then it'll set a boundary and they know when not to come to you. Now, I got a homeboy I've been friends with 28 years, right? 28 years me and this dude been friends, right? And we don't speak all the time. We homecoming and, time to time, click anniversary and stuff like that. But I noticed a pattern. That one time, like every now and then, every 6 months or so, he hit me up for like $50. Yeah, $50 drop in the bucket, right? Thank God that I can say that. $50 drop in the bucket is nothing. Just he may need it for something to make sure it's something. But it started to become a pattern. So he hit me up recently, and I had to tell him, nah, bruh, I ain't, and I was firm with it, like to a point where I ain't make up no excuses or anything. I was like, nah, man. I'm not going to be able to do it this time. And, he was like, oh, okay, But you know what? The reason I know it was a scam in a way, not a scam, but again, I had to question. I didn't want to get mad at him because that may be all his pride allowed him to ask for. And he may know that, I'm in a position that it could give it. Then again, I could be getting misused. I'm not trying to decipher those two things. But now that this letter came in, I wish I would have been able to have the conversation with him about balancing out that scale. Exactly. I became an enabler in the friendship as a giver with no reciprocated energy. I'm enabling you. I'm being your crutch. You're being people's crutch if the energy isn't reciprocated. A seesaw can only go up and down if both sides are willing to get off their ass from time to time. Ooh, that's another bar. That's a 360 original. But that's the only time a seesaw can rock. Is both parties got to be willing to get off their ass. So remember, it's okay to prioritize your own needs. You got to be able to understand and prioritize your own needs in order to maintain your well-being. You dig? Exactly. Get grown out here. We got to be grown folks about it. Be okay with saying no. Additionally, thanks, Villa. Additionally, you got to consider diversifying your social circle. What's that Stacey say? She said, I had a family member get mad at me because I said I didn't have and he was pissed. However, he never asked if things was cool with me. So I blocked his text. See, that's the thing. Like, people will, like, when you tell them no, like, and when they get mad, but then they don't even consider the thing, like, damn, well, let me check if the homie, let me check if cousin all right. Let me check if my homeboy all right. Let me check if my homegirl straight. Because normally, they be able to come through for a player. But if they can't, let me ask them, you good? Shit, do I need to call somebody so we can both figure out how to figure this out? You know? And that's a telltale sign. When they don't, exactly what Denver was talking about earlier, that reciprocated energy to at least be concerned about your well-being. Then that's when you go into this next point I'm making. My next point is you may have to diversify your socioeconomic circle, right? Your social circle might need to be diversified, meaning, you know, like I said, we just talked about this a couple shows ago, figuring out whether the friendship is still valid for both parties. Figure it out. All right, Tori, I see. Go have fun at work, darling. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to figure it out. Is the relationship worth it? You know, while long-term relationships and friendships are precious to us all, you know, having a variety of friends, that can give you all sorts of avenues to take. And it'll reduce feeling like you being used by a certain part of your circle. Because then you got people, not that you have to lean on, but again, that can refill that cup of yours because you're constantly pouring out in other areas of your life. So diversifying your friend and social circle will help you get those things. Meeting new people can also give you a new perspective on your own existing relationships. What's up, Javon Banks? How you doing, brother? The thing about it is, like, you know, meeting new people. Speaking of meeting new people, meeting Javon Banks, that was meeting him as a whole, maybe gave me a whole nother avenue on how to look at people for different avenues. Like he owned different businesses, but you wouldn't know that just by if I never would have met him, or if I just by looking at him, or if I just be like, oh, that's E's husband to be, but now it's her husband it is. Now I'm, you know, enthralled in this friend relationship now. You know, it's learning stuff from other people. Diversifying my friend circle allowed me to meet other people. It allowed me to meet my clique. Diversifying my friend circle allowed me to meet people like Pam and meet people like Mike Denardi, you know? That's how you allow yourself to, not saying you know, some people on that no new friends. And I get it. It ain't about no new friends. It's about having friends, real friends. Not just some new ones that just around that wasn't here the year before. But the people that they may be here for 2 weeks, but y'all done locked in to the point where y'all growing towards something that's genuine, that nobody is being a succubus of the other person. Equally yoked friendships and friend relationships make a difference. You know? So the thing about that, diversifying your friend circle, or people be like, no new friends. Like, don't block your, you know, people be like, don't block your blessings. Don't block your avenues. Exactly. There are friends and then there are associates. And you have to be the one to decipher. What's up, Kelly Steele? You have to be the one to decipher which category they fall in. Which column are you in? Because if I don't rock with you, you ain't even on the page. Now, I don't even consider what you going through. But if I rock with you, are you my associate? Somebody who I associate with, who we have a good time for the most part when we are together, but I really wouldn't vest any of my secrets into you? Or are you my friend? Somebody who all those other things incorporate, but also I give you the juice. You got pull in my life. My kids can call you uncle or auntie, you know, and yours is going to do me the same. Call me uncle. Don't call me auntie. I'll whoop their ass. But, you know what I mean? But those are your friends, your family, your chosen family. You know? And right, Villa. I whoop their ass. They better not call me Auntie Will. What? They be like, Uncle Will whoop my ass. Exactly. You straight now, ain't you? But no, I wouldn't do that. I don't whoop kids no more. You know? You know, one thing, you know, again, like I said, we talked about this an episode or two ago, right? About evaluating Exactly. Oh, you already know. You know that saying is old as dirt. Blood only makes you related. Loyalty is what makes you family. If you ain't never heard that before, write it down, take a picture, record it, rewind it. I've seen it on shirts for a long time. It's an old mafia statement. It's actually probably more along the lines of more like Black Panther statement. But somebody like that came up with it. I need to know who originated it. But blood makes you related. Loyalty is what makes you family. You know? It ain't about like, oh, I got to follow and do everything that these people do, and that's what makes me loyal. No. Loyalty means that, you know, you got integrity. And integrity means that you do the right thing even when you don't think nobody's watching you. When you don't think nobody, I appreciate you, Kelly. When you don't think nobody's watching you, you're going to do the right thing regardless. That means you loyal to the situation. What's buzzing, cousin? Hey, Chanel. You know, when you loyal to the situation, then that means I can lean on you when I'm not strong. You know what I'm saying? I got to be able to do that if I consider you my friend. But if you just my associate, I really wouldn't put that onus up. Not nobody's talking to you, Siri. I wouldn't put that onus on you if I don't categorize you in the area to where I believe that you're a stable enough post for me to fall on if I'm down. If my knees buckle, if I become a baby giraffe, my knees buckle, I need my friends around me because I know they're not going to let me bust my face. Exactly. Ooh, Lucy Lowe hit us with a bar. Seniority definitely doesn't equal the same vibration. That's what friendship is, being on the same vibration. And the thing about it is, when you diversify your friend circle, you never know. You may be introducing other people to people that they need in their life to be even a better friend to you. You're right. A lot of people don't know the difference, Kelly. Because what you say, you stand on your square no matter what and hold all people accountable and be there for those that reciprocate. Absolutely. That's how you do it. What's up, Tasha Shaw? I was about to call you Natasha, bro. Your OG name. What up, Tasha Shaw? But that's real. You stand on your square. I'm 10 toes down for those I'm 10 toes down with. And they know it. And I'm hoping that I know that the ones that I believe are 10 toes down with me are those same 10 toes. That means if I got my 12, I know you got my 6. But I can't have your 6 if you don't have your 12. My brother-in-law said it a long time ago. He told me this a few years ago. He said, I can't have your back if you ain't got your front, bro. I can't do it. If you not putting forward to push forward, then what am I going to be there to support you behind you? How can I be there to support you behind you if you not even walking forward? That means we on a treadmill and I'm pushing. That means my movements are in vain. I had intention behind what I was doing. I wanted us to grow and move forward as friends. So that means if that's the case, how can we do that if you standing still? So diversify your friend circle. Be willing and open to introduce your friends to other new friends. People kill me when they be like, oh no, them, your other friends. What you mean your other friends? Yeah, we may not rock in the same circle, but if I'm the common denominator, don't say them my other friends, because that's implying to me that you feel like I rock with people that I'm not supposed to be rocking with. You never know but it's not the message, it's the delivery. And the delivery changes the message sometimes. Or at least how people receive it. You can't get a big ass box in your mailbox. No, you got to get that little slip. Or they're going to leave it on your porch. They're not going to leave your paycheck on your porch. No, they're going to put it in your mailbox. So the delivery dictates how people receive the message. So don't be just, so adverse, because if I trust you as my friend, right? I trust that you're not going to bring anybody into my friend's circle or trust anybody in our friend's circle that don't agree with our vibration. You're right, Denver. How you receive it is on you. But again, the delivery dictates the opportunity of how you can receive it. You know, some people, you know, many have chemical imbalances, bro. This is true. This is true. This is true. And I get that. I'm not putting it all 100% on the mailman, right? You know, as far as metaphorically speaking. But at the same time, you know, you got to be able to, as a deliverer, you got to be able to look at who your person that you delivering it to is as well, if you want your message to get across. You know, if you want your message to get across, you know, you don't talk to a mute person and expect them to yell back to you. You know, if that makes sense. And what's that Chanel say? She said, watch out for those who are intimidated by your progress. We should be growing together. Absolutely. Absolutely. And those are the ones that you don't want to be misused by, because, you know, it was a meme online the other day. It said, this person hated me so much, they ended up being just like me, because they looked at so much of the stuff that they tried to talk about you about, you know, they end up being just like you. But in this instance, where we're talking about people misusing their friends and only hollering at them when they need something, this is a thing you got to kind of check it. You got to check it, or what they say, nip it in the bud. You got to check it, because if you don't, it's going to continue to grow. So anybody who's ever been a gardener, anybody who's ever grown anything, if you don't, you know, if you don't nip it in the bud in the beginning, then it's going to continue to fester. Like if you don't clip your weeds, they're going to continue to fester. Again, you become an enabler. And that message that you're delivering is that that's cool to be that for you. That's what you desire to be, or that you're okay with being. And if you're not okay with that, then be open and honest about it if you care about the people in which aren't making you feel okay about it. You know? But again, back to my first point, you have to care about your own self in order for your real feelings to come across to the person you're speaking to. If I don't think you a gangster or a killer, your threat doesn't affect me. Meaning, like, if I don't think, you know, be like, oh, you can bark all you want to, I don't really think you're going to bite me. So if you coming across as somebody who's okay with being that, then when you turn around and change it out of nowhere without having the open and honest conversation about it, then it's going to come off as false. You know, you may have turned into a killer since the last time I saw you. You know, you may have went through situations and circumstances that may have put you in that status, that put your back against the wall to where it was do or die, right? So now I can't say that you're not that new person. All I can say is, like, what you tell me, what we have this conversation about. Let me see, self-style wisdom, different learners, different teaching styles, different environments people have grown up in. So we have to have different styles. The reception is a long story of distraction and focus. The message is always apex. Could be the difference in life and death, simply listening. Exactly. Again, back to my point I make every week. You have to listen to absorb. Meaning, not just the words that they saying. Nah, words are put there just to kind of give you an audible of what their meaning behind them is, right? So words can say one thing, but you got to be able to absorb their movements, absorb their feelings, absorb how they giving it to you. Communicate, but listen to absorb. Most people, they hear something and now they stop listening. They hear you, but they stop listening to you because they ready to respond. Like I said last week, right? I made exactly, words are a spell. That's why it's called spelling words. That's why it's called spelling. But like, that's the thing. People so quick to try to say something back to you, to quick to respond to you because what you said made them feel a certain way. But if people would go into a conversation wanting to absorb what's coming at them, so now I'm not only listening to what you say, I'm watching how you move. I'm seeing your facial. I'm looking at all of this because I need to get this communication style under my understanding. Meaning I need to know what you're doing, when you're doing it, how you're doing it, and what your intentions behind it are. Now, I may be driving myself crazy trying to figure these things out, but my whole goal is to absorb what you're saying. And that's just not the words. Exactly, Kelly. Communication is the key to open the door that blocks you from getting to where you're trying to go. Communication is the key that opens the door that's blocking you from getting you to where you're trying to go. And it's the master key. It fits any lock, all locks, if the communication is open and absorbing from both sides. You know, when you just talking and nobody's listening, it's, like remember I said last week, it's the difference between hearing a song and listening to a song. You can hear the music playing down the block, right? This is my brother Cease told me. He said, you can hear the music playing down the block, but you're not listening to the words. You hear the beat, but you're not listening to the lyrics. So if you're hearing me, but you're not listening to me, then we got a disruption in our communication off top. If you're only hearing me and not listening, then that's where our communication is disrupted. But said, don't ask unless it's offered, and don't believe it till you see it. All right, Jerry Taylor. Bernice. That's real, though. I mean, that's the thing. Like, people will, again, like I was saying about my homeboy who hit me up for $50 every now and then, right? I had to look at it and think about it as, maybe his pride won't let him ask for more. Or maybe he know that, maybe, Lil Will 360, I don't know if he gonna get that bread up like that, So he put it at a mark, like, this one seemed to work. Let me keep hitting that well. So he may be hitting me and other people up. I don't know. But then again, he may be collecting what he really may need. What's up, Amber? He may be collecting what it is he really needs, So I'm not here to decipher that. Now, I got to be able to play my part in the situation. Again, there's never any traffic when you're in your own lane. It's yours. Highway wide as it needs to be. So that's why it's hard to understand when people get in your lane or try to get in your lane when they can just simply drive in their own and either pass you up, drive side by side, click shell. It's been a long time, So stay in your lane. And if your lane is the one who's not feeling good about being a giver all the time, with no reciprocity, then you got to say, hey, honk your horn at somebody. You in my lane, dawg. You're not giving me my space. My space is my reciprocity. You're not giving me what I need to be in my lane. And what I need is for some of this stuff to come bouncing back my way. And a true giver doesn't give with the intention of receiving back, right? Like another one of my poems, I say, can you give to others with no intention of payback? Next time you walk by the mirror, ask your person in that motherfucker, can they say that? So like that's a real thing. Like you don't give just to get back. But at the same time, you don't just be giving everything away either. You don't just give out the house. And if you're not comfortable with it, remember, go through these steps. I gave you 6 points on different ways that you could possibly deal with deal with friends from long term that only holler at you when they need something, whether it be to help them move, whether it be for a favor, whether it be because, they trying to get tickets to a concert that they know you can get for the low, whether it be because they know you live in a city that they know is popping. All these things, like living in Vegas taught me a lot of this. Being out here, oh my goodness, especially good googly moogly. Like, people ain't hit me up in years. I ain't heard from them in years. But they coming out here to the Usher show. They want to know what hookups I got. So you got to be understanding. If you got these feelings inside yourself, one, make sure you have self-internal acknowledgement, right? Acknowledge the fact that your feelings and your emotions are valid. Two, consider an open an honest conversation with your friends, letting them know that you want to continue to be friends, but you need the relationship to be a little bit more balanced. 3, make sure you feel like it's important to you to set the boundaries. Be specific about what you're comfortable with and what you're not. 4, be okay with saying no. Whenever it's necessary to say no, be okay with saying no. Sometimes it's the best thing you can do, not only for the person, but also for y'all relationship as friends, right? 5, consider diversifying your friend circle. Be okay with meeting new friends. Get that no new friends thought out your head. Because sometimes if your old one's not acting right, you need some new ones. Throw it in the gutter. Go get some other. What's going on, Key? Number 6 is assess the friendship's overall value. What is it worth? If you find that relationship constantly drains you emotionally or offers nothing in return, then it might be a time to reevaluate whether it's worth maintaining. If you in a relationship that only drains you, then it's time to, it ain't nothing to cut that off. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a relationship that drains you, constantly drains and drags everything out of you, you might need to evaluate knowing whether or not that relationship is worth keeping. So as always, in closing, I just want to let y'all know, navigating through friendships where where you feel like you're being used, or you feel like it's a challenging event, or, it may seem like it's impossible to get past, right? Exactly. Scissors, Lucy Lowe. It may seem impossible to get past, but it's important to prioritize your own well-being, right? You got to maintain the friendships and relationships that are built on mutual respect and support. If they're not built on mutual respect and support, then remember it's okay to stand up. Stand up for yourself and look at different healthier, mentally, physically, emotionally healthier dynamics to your friendship. Okay? So again, I appreciate everybody who tunes in and taps in. Big up to Ray's World, Denver Brigham, C. Smith, Chanel Taylor. Who else came and tapped in? As always, Neighbor Nicole, Click Shell, Lucy Lowe. Exactly. I got to do the benediction. All my people who tune in and tap in on a weekly basis, man, I appreciate y'all because it lets me know who Irene Nichols, everybody who came in here and said something on here today, I appreciate you because that let me know that y'all have these thoughts as well. So anytime you want to send in a letter, make sure you email that thing to me at hollaatthehomie@gmail.com. That's HOLLAATTHAHOMIE@gmail.com. And you can always call us up at 702-551-5261. But I've been your man, 360 the Poet. That's THAPOET. Make sure you spell it right because it means something. And I've been here at hot7025fm.com. So until next Wednesday, I'ma holla at y'all in a minute.